Westlake.
So I'm gonna have a Westlake charge. I got a Westlake charge on my damn credit.
Yes, sir. You do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So.
How late is she?
She's 3 months late, so it's $566 a month. You can get your calculator out if you need to. It's $566.
No, I don't need no calculator at all. I shouldn't even have no bill at all. I tell you what, here's the deal. I don't know how you can go about doing this, but I never authorized that. I definitely didn't sign for anything. So if whatever you got to do, take my name off that. My name should be on nobody's car at all. Period.
Well, the only way I can take it off is if you pay the $1,700.
$1,700?
$1,700.
I'm not paying $1,700. I didn't owe $1,700.
Well, apparently that's your wife. So is that not your wife?
No, that's not my wife. That's my son's mother. That is not my wife. She's never been my wife.
So she was never your wife.
Man.
Wait. Well, then who did I talk to get authorization for your credit? Because I talked to a male.
Does my voice sound familiar to you? I've never heard I've never talked to you ever in my life.
I'm just saying, I talked to a man. I mean, a voice call doesn't have face identification, so I don't know. I just heard a male's voice, and that it's okay to run the credit. She had your social, your birthday, she had everything. She had your email address. She knew what kind of drawings you were wearing apparently. So, I mean, I don't know. I just heard a male's voice, and he said, okay, and I got the credit, and now it's in your name, and it's $566 a month, and it's 3 months past due, and if you add that up, it's $1,700. So I'm just trying to collect my payment. Don't shoot the messenger.
Hey, man, take my name off of all of that. I don't have nothing to do with that. Do you understand me? I'm telling you, I've never heard of this credit company that you're talking about. I've never talked to you, so you've never heard my voice before. Hey, bro, who's in charge? Who's your manager?
I'm actually the manager. That's crazy. I'm actually the sales manager. That's why I'm calling.
So what can we do to get this thing resolved? Because I'm not paying $1,700, bro, to be straight up with you.
Somebody's got to pay $1,700. I'm not saying particularly it has to be you. I'm just saying somebody has to pay $1,700.
Oh, is the car repossessed, or what's going on?
The car will be repossessed, and that will go on your credit.
All right, I'm going to call you, bro. Call her. And don't call my line no more, because I don't know nothing about this.
Call her, but she gonna answer. So I got you, Mr. DeLaire.
Okay, well, she gonna answer my call. She probably hey man, just call her from now on. Just take my name off your call list and call her.
I can't take your name off the call list because you were on the deal with her. That's it. It's just our policy. It's no hard feelings with anything, but I just need a payment. I don't care if I get it from you, from her, from anybody. I just need a payment, or we're gonna repossess it, and it's gonna go on your credit, and it's gonna kill your credit.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Is this a good number to call you back at?
Absolutely.
All right, let me get on the phone with her to figure this whole. I'll call you back, bro.
Okay, all right.
This girl done got a damn car put in my name and walking around here bragging like she got a whole car on her own.
I gotta hear if he called her.
It's the face.
Please leave your message for 4707.
She ain't answering that.
837.
This girl done put a whole damn car in my name and use my credit.
Please leave your message for
She ain't answering that phone.
7088373.
I'm gonna call her back to back till she get it.
Oh, it's ringing.
When you got your car a couple of years ago, where'd you get that car from?
What?
Where did you get the car from, Ashley?
Why does it matter?
Because the dealership just called me looking for the car. Apparently you behind.
Yeah, because the child support check ain't came.
Did you use my name and my did you use my social for something?
I absolutely did.
You used my social and co-signed me for a car?
We talked about it, remember?
I've never talked to you about no damn car.
I told you I really needed to get a new car so Trey can have.
No, FaceTime me. FaceTime me so I can see your face. FaceTime me. Answer the phone.
I don't want to FaceTime you. I don't want to FaceTime you. You want to see me?
You put a car in my name?
For your son.
Ashley, you put a car in my name?
For your son.
You walk around here stunting like you balling in that damn car. That's my car.
Listen, you don't think I deserve me and Trey needed a car.
And she laughed at it.
We needed a car.
I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police on you. Because that's
Call the police on me because your son needed a car to ride in.
Because that's fraud.
That is not fraud. That's helping the mother of your child and your child.
Why do you still have my social?
We was together.
Why do you still have my social? Why are you using it?
I know it by heart.
You 3 months behind and people say you owe $1,700.
Baby, that check that's supposed to come every month, it pay the bill, it pay the car note and the insurance. But you know, since you ain't been sending it, they call it the insurance, so maybe you need to go on over there.
Ashley, you put a car in my don't try to deflect from it. You put a car in my name and didn't tell me when you was gonna tell me that you put a car in my name.
But if you
When were you gonna tell me you put a car in my name?
I wasn't gonna hesitate.
When were you gonna tell me you put a whole damn car in my name?
When I made your credit score go up.
And it's about to go down because now you obviously 3 months behind. He said you owe $1,700. And why you got a $500 car note? Like you can afford a $500 car note. The man just called me and told me everything.
$500, that's a cheap car note. Liz, what do you want with me?
You stole my identity. You know that's identity theft. You aware of that, right? You aware that's identity theft?
Well, you know, I've never stolen your identity. You gave it to me.
With the freedom to just use it how you wanted to? With the freedom to just use it however you wanted to?
This to take care of our child.
With the freedom to just use it however you want to?
That's to take
Hey, man, call that dude and get my name off of the stuff. Call the dude now and get my name off of it.
like that. You know this is not working.
You get them people their money and get my name off this stuff.
Where is the checks? Once you get the checks, see, they ain't had no problems because they was getting the checks, but once you stop sending the
Crazy.
checks, they stop getting
Crazy, right here. Crazy. Put a whole car in my name. Crazy. 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 Crazy.
One yelling. So this for your son.
All right.
You really crazy.
He crazy. He crazy. This ain't no way. You hear me? Y'all dudes be out here, man, screwing these chicks, man. It is. I say this. If that's me, the first thing I'm doing is calling the police. You hear me? Matter of fact, I'm going to use that to go after custody of the kid. I'm going to use that in court.
I don't. Well, listening to that whole thing. So, okay, so let's go on her side, right? Brilliant. I ain't mad at her. You was able to get a car in his name or give him the co-sign and then use his child support checks to make the payment. He doesn't know because all he's supposed to be doing is paying you child support. He ain't sent you child support in 3 months. So you ain't made the payment in 3 months. So now that same 3 months he thought he could get away with $1,700, it came and bit him in the ass, talking about, well, you might not be giving your baby mama the $1,700, but now you gotta give us the $1,700. So I'm really not mad at her for that because I would have never thought about that. But here's the problem. The guy said that he heard a male voice. So did she use her current boyfriend to say, yes, I am whoever I am? Okay.
She used either used somebody that she was with, like that she was, with in that kind of situation, or a family member.
Okay, so let's just say we go online and do stuff, right?
Right.
If you go to one of these buy here, pay here, like fly by night car dealerships, you see them up and down Gallatin Road, Dickinson Road all the time. You don't have to submit no photos or no nothing. Once you fill it out online, give the social security number. That's all they want is a social security number. I bought my last car that way. They didn't ID me. I was at Darryl Waltrip down in Franklin. They didn't ID me. They didn't ask for a pay stub. Once they saw my credit scores at 810, oh yeah, this is yours. No money down, drive off the lot. We sure did. So imagine like one of these crooked ass car lots. So she could have went online and did it. And even though the guy said I heard a male voice, I'm just saying there's another option way of getting somebody, if you have somebody's information, having them co-sign without them knowing. Now, if you sitting in front of a car dealership, then they're going to ID you and they're going to make sure you are who you are. So whoever this car dealer was, he's either one of those fly-by-night guys or he knew the baby mama. Because if you a salesman and you know the customer, he doesn't have to go through all that. Once she gave him all the ID, all he had to check was like, yes, and that's it. So there was the baby mama needed a car. She went to somebody she knew that was a salesman. He hooked her up, and as long as the guy was paying child support, that's how the payments got there.
I tell you,
the guy Damo, I believe, and I hate to say this, but he deserves it because you need to be careful on who you lay down with. I don't think
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
You knew this girl was something wrong with her, or she didn't have herself together when you laid down and have this child.
I agree with that.
They was doing a study, Damo, about middle class and poor people, right? They were saying that first of all, why are poor people having babies? That's first off. And two, most middle class and poor people, they don't have nothing to do. They go to work for 8 hours. That means there's 16 hours left in the day. So they have plenty of time to have sex. When you're an entrepreneur, when you running multiple businesses, your sex life kind of takes the back burner because you're too busy trying to build. But when you're the middle class and poor, when you don't have nothing to do all day, all you do is lay down and have sex. So I blame him for impregnating her, and vice versa. I blame her too, but she found a duck. And so he deserved what he gets.
I couldn't agree more. I don't have no sympathy. Going forward, I don't have sympathy for dudes that get railroaded by females.
Yeah.
Because y'all the ones that pick these scallywags.
That's right.
So if you pick her the same way, I don't have sympathy for females that have bad experiences with men. You pick. It's the same vice versa. You
absolutely did.
So you got to deal with the consequences. So I don't have no empathy for him, right? No. That said, if I was him, and man, I'm going after I'm taking custody of that kid. I'm using all of that to go after you for custody of the kid. Because I have just as much right over that kid as you have. And all I have to do is prove that you're an unfit mother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to court like, well, if you can't financially take care of this kid, why can't I have custody of it? I ain't got to worry about no car. I ain't got to worry about no insurance. I ain't got to worry about this and that. So why not? Why don't you get yourself together and I just take over custody of the kid, even if it's temporarily until you get back on your feet. I'm using stuff like that. Identity theft is a serious charge. And all I got to prove is that it wasn't me. And I know at these car lots, even to buy here, pay here, they got cameras there too, right? They got phone records. They got everything I need to prove that I wasn't responsible. I didn't co-sign for you to get that vehicle. So that's all I got to prove. So if it's me, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking you to court and I'm trying to get you arrested. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also in agreement with you. That's what he did. I don't have no empathy for dudes that pick these women that they pick. We should make it much harder.
That is absolutely
Yeah,
true.
it is.
And then on top of that, I would also sue the dealership because you didn't verify that was me. All you heard was a dude's voice in the background. And then to go show you what type of dude he is. This is 2024. Well, let's say 2022, she bought the car. Everybody has some type of, if you're smart enough, have some type of Credit Karma, Credit.com, your bank. Somebody always alerts me when my credit is being used. Let's put it that way. For the last 10 years of my life, if I paid off something, if it's a debt collection on whatever, anytime it's dinged, I get the info. So he didn't even get a ding. He didn't even know who's on his credit and who ain't.
Let me ask you this, Sky. When you get that ding, do it come through in the email?
I have mine set up through email and Credit Karma.
I think
it tells me, when, who did it, and why. Because sometimes you can have a soft inquiry, and if it's soft, it won't bump your score, so I won't get the ding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a lot of companies would do a soft, say, 810, here's whatever you need, or you can apply for this. But usually homes and cars, usually they're going to go in to see who's in your credit. Have you paid off a car before? Have you had a mortgage before? And that's when you get that hard that takes off points, and you're supposed to get notified of that. Because that was just your baby mama. What if it was some hacker, in Taiwan that took your damn identity? And you don't know. They could have ran up $100,000, $200,000 on you. You said they're looking silly.
Here's something that's scary. Whoever they had to call, the cosign, they had to have his social and date of birth and all that.
She did.
No, I'm saying the person she called had it too.
Right.
Because to verify it, they had to have his information. So she had it, but they had it also. So
the
that's
way you work, where you live, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
So his stuff is out there.
This stuff is out there. And this woman, I don't know how long they were together, but she was together long enough to get your information like that, right?
Man, I think that's a bad move when dudes do that. I don't understand why dudes, even if you're dating a female, she should not have your social.
Right.
Under any circumstances, should she have your social?
Correct. Nowadays, I try to tell people, I guess because you've probably been working since you were 16. I've been working since I was 16.
Since I was 14.
Okay, 14. Do you know how many people have our social security number? Every time you fill out an application, you have to do your social security. And that's just your job. We ain't talking about credit cards, any other things. So just between me and you, our social security number is out there with a lot of companies, a lot of people. Right. So if people was really that worried about social security, people wouldn't even apply for jobs or government jobs or credit cards. Because once Capital One has your social security number, they keep it. It's under file. Even if they deny you, it's still under file. What gets it, you have to have social security and other information for the people. Like if I was to call my bank right now, just on the phone, I have to have other things that I know and they know, right? For them to say, okay, it's really you, not just my social security number. So this woman had more than just social security. She basically had his whole life in her hand. And he's sitting over there looking silly, not knowing that she's talking about when we had this conversation, they probably did. But he didn't give you the okay to go do this.
Man,
but why did he stop paying the child support? Because now you're gonna have to. Then that's gonna be into question if you go through all this stuff. What happened when you stop paying your child support? Because then you gonna go that route. She can always go back to the courts and say, "Hey, he's 3 months behind."
Right.
In the child support, and then trying to get custody of the child. Why you didn't try to get custody during the very first child support case? Right. If you knew this woman was crazy and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, no, I don't feel bad for him, and I don't feel bad for none of these guys out here sleeping with these girls and doing all this stuff. And y'all crazy in hell. You playing roulette with your life, man.
Man, me neither. I don't feel bad for him, man. I think they just give dudes and all a bad name. Man, trying to save some of these females and whatnot, and not letting them be accountable for some of the stuff that they got going on in their life and the way that they think and see things, you know.
Right.
And so them dudes, man, I kind of root against. I hate to say this, fella, but man, I'm kind of glad she did that to you. You know, and hopefully when you come across another young person, you tell them and give them information in hopes that they're a little bit wiser than you were. You know, because I can't tell you how many young cats I come across and try to just have dialect with them and give advice to them. It goes in one ear, it goes out the other ear, and it's like, well, you know, man, I don't want to hear you crying over spilled milk. It is what it is.
You need a male or female. I say the same thing. I'm giving you my advice, and you still continue to do the same stuff you've been doing. That's insanity.
Right.
Doing the same thing over and over, hoping for different results. That's insanity.
And it's like, you know, man, I don't understand this about people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to go through something for it to be a lesson? Why can't you just observe other people going through, the experience and then learning a lesson through observation? Why do you have to go through things for it to be, a learned lesson? I've heard a female say that about a dude. Well, sometimes, you got to go through bad dudes to understand what a good one is. Why? You got your aunt, your mama, cousins, people before you going through and experiencing what you are experiencing right now. Why couldn't you learn the lesson through them?
I agree 100%. That's how I live my life. I try to observe and listen to those who have already been through it so I don't have to go through it. Now, sometimes life stuff happens and you just gonna have to go through the fire. But most of my life, I'm with you. I'm like, hell, if I see this dude with 6 baby mamas is struggling, there's no way in hell I'm gonna have 6 baby mamas. If I see this dude got 4 or 5 car repossessions, I'm gonna go have 4 or 5 car repossessions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see these things. I'm with you. I talk to people. Like, what do I need to do to make sure this, and this? You is absolutely correct. But man, a lot of these folks, man, they just don't care. They don't.
Right, not until it hits home. And then
not until it hits home. Right.
Then, you know what I'm saying? Now it's important. No, you should have learned this through observation. It's the same way with people having, it kills me that when women talk about men that don't do like the deadbeat father thing. Mm-hmm. Well, you watch other females deal with deadbeat dads. You know what it is. You know it's a gamble when you have kids out of wedlock. You know the consequences that could come with that. And when people say, well, it happened in marriages too, well, how do you know? Who do you know married? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So don't talk about things that you don't know much about. The majority of people aren't even married. You're just hearing stories and going off of that. You don't know. You're not in the know, right? But you're seeing, man, what it is when the father not around. So why would you go ahead and turn around then and go through the same exact thing?
Same exact thing. Same exact thing. And I've seen this with my own 2 eyes. I've seen a girl, 23, 24, multiple baby daddies, multiple kids living in the project struggling. Her youngest sister, 16. Guess what happened? By the time she turned 23, multiple baby daddies, I'm like, did you not just see what your sister went through? And yet you decide to do the same damn thing. Like it's cute. Like the people think that shit is cute. And I'm just like, okay, that's on you. That's fine. I don't want to hear you bitching and moaning about the government ain't give me enough food stamps. I don't want to hit you bitching and moaning that you don't got gas money, you ain't got food, because you did this to yourself. Right. You knew you were struggling with 2 kids. You turn around and now you got 4. What the
I don't get it. I just don't get it, man. This next story, man, is something else. This woman, man, throws her husband's mother's ashes down the toilet. All right, so we're going to get into that. Let me go ahead and stop this music. I was like, man, I couldn't imagine. I don't even know if I would have had a conversation about this. I think the whole marriage would have been over. That's it. I'm done.
Everything I had was my mama. And you put that down the drain. Just flush it away. That's what I had. All I had was you. That's all I had to do. nothing to you. You know what? How they do it? Guess what? It's all good. I did. And what?
So, from what it sounds like his mama had just passed away, right? And it sounded like that their marriage was going down the drain too. Okay.
But it was sound like two hood folks arguing over. I don't know. I don't
know if he cheated or what the case was, but let's say he did. Let's say he cheated on her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was about to go ahead and move on. If you just buried your mama, you had her cremated, and somebody did that, man, what's your next move?
Probably can't say it on this live, but I'll probably just say the political thing and just say walk away and say just walk away.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where they both sound like two hood folks, because the way that's all I used to hear out in the hood. Two uneducated people getting together, knowing they don't need to be with each other, and all it takes is for one to get bored of the other, and then this is what you hear every night. Just arguing and arguing. So either she was gonna put the ashes down the toilet and flush it, or it was gonna be a domestic violence the way they arguing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So something was gonna be bad in the outcome anyway. So he decided to flush the ashes down the toilet again. Now it goes back. I'm blaming him because he knew what type of girl this was when he laid down with her, or he knew what type of girl this was before they got together. Because she talking about all I had was you. Well, what woman would say all I have is you? It's okay to have a spouse, but when are women gonna start to have a backup plan? When your dude decides to leave you or cheat on you or move on, that's all the women I know. They never have a backup plan. It's like I get with this guy and that's it. I'm following him blind to the end of time. So he leaves you, you dump his mama's ashes in the toilet, that still don't change your life. He ain't. Do you think he's coming back now? After you flushed it, but you think he's coming back?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if it's me, I think the older me, the younger me would have flipped out and they would have turned physical. I'm just going to be honest. The older me, I probably would have been going back and forth, and then a peace would have came over me. And I don't know if man, you Sky or anybody watching can relate to this, but you ever been in a chaotic situation and then you just like, this is not going to, me going back and forth with this person ain't going to change it.
Nope.
I just think it's just better for me to just cut this person off right here and right now and walk away from them. I'm not going to solve anything going back and forth with them with any kind of dialogue. Like, it's impossible for us to have a positive dialogue.
Right.
It's just better for me to just part ways, let them go their way, and I go my way. I think that would have been the older me. The older me would have walked off on her without nothing else. It would have been no other word. I probably wouldn't even acknowledge it after a while.
That's absolutely true. What's up, Lady T? Look, she done finally joined. Hey, Lady T, next show, we're going to try to have it set up for a phone line. So you need to be watching. So that way, if you have anything get off your chest, you'll be able to call up here live for a minute and get it off your chest. Same thing with you, Miranda G. I'm with you, Damo. I would have just walked away. Because life always imitates art. When I say art, I mean like professional wrestling, right? So when I first got into wrestling as a young heel, I would go around and say things to the crowd to get them to say things back to me. Now, as an older heel, I just walk straight to the ring. I'm not even engaged. That pisses them off more that I'm ignoring them going straight to the ring than I guess I ever was going back and forth. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm with you. The older me would have just walked away. That way she could have just yelled and screamed at nothing but herself. And that would have pissed her off a hell of a lot more than me going back and forth.
Man, I'm telling you, I think we had this conversation before. I think the best way to handle people like that is to not respond at all. When somebody do you really, really dirty, the best response is no response, because people don't know how to react to that. They don't know how to, they're so emotional, and everything is based on their emotions. that when you don't give them anything to react to emotionally, they don't know how to respond. And I think that does more damage to them than you just, it's just like if you get cheated on. If you get cheated on, don't confront them. Once you know once you show them the evidence, walk away and watch how they react. That will hurt them more than you doing something destructive or saying something destructive. Walking away will do much more damage. Absolutely. Or letting them know that it don't bother.
Yeah. At this age now, that's why you sign prenups. So that way, when they do something stupid like that, like cheat on you or put a car in your name, you just walk away.
Man,
I think most men will. I think most men, it hurts them because they wasn't prepared. Like a lot of TV shows in real life that I see, they're hurt because now they're sitting at a divorce table, his lawyer, her lawyer, and he's about to lose 2/3 of his income. But if you protect yourself with a prenup, that way y'all can just walk away. I think a lot of times divorce hurts in the pocketbook more than it hurts in the heart.
Yeah,
we can't wait to talk to you either, Lady T. Yeah, we got to hear what you got to say.
And like you said too, if the marriage gonna last, what value is a prenup? Prenup don't have no value anyway.
Nope.
So if you get in expecting to death do us part, and you really mean that, then what is a prenup?
Right.
And I think it works for the female too. Maybe her family left her something. Maybe she's the breadwinner. So, it can favor both people. We want to get into California. We know California is a toilet bowl. We know this. California is an absolute toilet bowl. I remember when I was young, I used to want to go to Hollywood. You can't pay me to go to Hollywood right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't pay me. But California, they got something that they're trying to do right now with the gas tax. Because you know what they're pushing? They're pushing for them electronic vehicles. They're actually trying to make it illegal to have gas cars in the next decade. I don't know if y'all knew that, but they're trying to make it illegal. Well, the people that own cars, they pay taxes on gas.
Right.
People that have electronic, them plug-in vehicles, like a Tesla, for example, they don't really have to pay much gas.
Right.
So they're trying to come up with creative ways to make the people that with the electronic cars to be able to, make it equal, make it even for them. Let me let y'all know what they done came up with.
This was up.
So hold on, let me go on to this because I was like, this is fun. Woo, thank God I ain't in California.
Gotta give a shout out to Miss Moore. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Moore, Lady T, Randy G, thank y'all for commenting. I hope y'all liking and sharing this. We want everybody to view this. Yes, thank y'all for chiming in.
The liking and especially sharing, man, it really helped out the show, man, and we appreciate it.
Drivers, this comes down to taxing electric and gas vehicle drivers equally, and a new test program would actually pay you. NBC4's Jonathan Gonzalez is in Burbank for us to explain the proposal. Jonathan.
Yeah, what a concept, Carolyn. You can say that the state is trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to how we pay for road maintenance. Right now, most road repairs are funded through gas taxes, but electric car owners, they don't pay those gas taxes. So as you mentioned, the state is now testing out a way to even out those taxes, and they're even willing to pay you to test it out with them. For many electric car owners, half of the reason to even buy one is to never pay for gas again.
If I'm going to continue living in Los Angeles, I want to have a car that is going to be fuel efficient, or so I thought, until you brought this dilemma up to me.
By 2035, all new cars sold in California must be electric. So as more people buy EVs, the state is slowly losing funding for most road maintenance because that funding comes from gas taxes. Every year, the average gas car owner pays $300 towards road repairs, but right now, EV owners only pay $100 from their car registrations.
So we're trying to plan ahead and study for some potential replacement to the gas tank.
Lauren Prehoda is in charge of California's Road Charge Pilot Program. Since 2016, they've been testing future ways to tax all drivers more evenly. And for the first time, they're throwing in a financial incentive for 800 car owners willing to test it out for 6 months.
And the unique thing about this pilot is that for the first time, we will be collecting revenue from participants. They will be paying a bill every month for 6 months.
Here's how the pilot works. Both EV and gas drivers would be charged on how many miles they drive. The average bill would be about $25 to $30 a month. The drivers can either turn in a photo of their odometers or use a transponder that tracks when and where they use California public roads. After the pilot ends, the 800 drivers will receive up to a $400 Visa gift card and a credit for all their taxes paid.
We've done a lot of research with EV drivers, in particular focus group polling. And I think there's a lot of recognition amongst those drivers that, we do need to pay our fair share for road maintenance.
It's a 6-month program, starts in August, but they would pay you $400 just to join it. No, all money ain't good money. The state argues EV owners will still pay far less than gas car owners do for maintenance and energy costs. But EV drivers like Howard Alonso say they're not so sure about this idea. One tax after another, and it's never going to end. Now, the state says they're working on a solution for the privacy concerns regarding having a transponder in your car tracking you basically everywhere you go. The pilot program begins in August. You can sign up on the Caltrans website. Reporting in Burbank, I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, NBC4 News. All right, Jonathan.
So, eventually, I think what they were trying to come up with was, like they were saying, the people that drive them EVs, they don't pay as much when they go to the register their vehicle. They pay like $200 less than the people that own gas vehicles. So I think what they're trying to get to is where they have it where eventually you will have, depending on how much you're on the road, you will take a photo of your odometer and you have to turn that in. And based on that is how you're going to pay your fair share for when you go to the DMV. So what do y'all think about stuff like that?
Well, can we get a little history lesson before we get started, right? So, driver's license, right? Back in the day when you first purchased a car, we're talking about back in the day.
Right.
For personal use, you did not need a tag or a license. A lot of y'all don't know that, right? A lot of y'all are young, y'all don't know that. Only people that had to have a tag or a license was business. People who was carrying goods from one place to another, right? They would lie and say, no, this is personal, knowing damn well they was using it for business. So the government said, you know what, we're going to tax everybody. Everybody got to pay a tag tax, and everybody has to pay a driver's license. But yes, in the United States at one point in time, if you was not using your car for business, you did not have to have a driver's license. I mean, you probably had some type of form of ID, but you didn't have to have a driver's license, and you did not have to go down to the DMV and get a tag once a year, okay? This here, with the EV, they're saying that, okay, you're not paying gas, so you're not paying it to the roads and stuff. Has anybody been to California and seen their roads? I mean, here in Tennessee, we got pothole city. So are they honestly taking the gasoline tax and fixing the roads in California? Do you know, Damo? Because I don't know. I ain't been to California.
Man, I haven't either, and I don't plan on going.
So that means if I'm driving up and down California roads and y'all are not fixing the roads, then why should I keep paying gasoline and taxes on the gasoline for y'all to pocket the money? That's the pros. The con is, how many damn EV stations is there in California? Right? If I have an EV, whether it's a plug-in or all electric, how far can I go? It limits me. It's not like I can drive from Southern California to Northern California. Your car will run out way before you get to Northern California. And if there's no stations where you can charge your car, what do you need an EV for? If I can only charge my car around my neighborhood, what good is to have a Tesla if I can't go out of town in it?
And I wouldn't even want one. I don't want a Tesla, especially seeing what happened this past winter, what happened in Chicago, when it got below 34 degrees, and the people's cars the batteries, it killed the battery, and the charging stations wouldn't work either.
Yeah.
And not only did it kill the battery, but the charging stations didn't work, and the people were stranded. So I wouldn't even want an EV. I don't want an EV at all, based on that. And the other concern I have is, what if the government get to the point where they want to cut your car off? What if they want to cut your car off? That's just too much power to me.
And I believe when Tesla first came out, you know, if me and you wanted to be a car manufacturer, start a new car, a new Nissan or whatever, it's a government thing. You have to go through the government. When you do shit like that, cell phones, cars, you go through the government. So I believe that Elon Musk probably do have some type of contract with the government to say that, yes, you can track all of my Teslas that are being sold. So that way, if I stole a Tesla and the police need to track me, they're going to find me. They pretty much going to find me because they probably have some type of chip in there to locate the car. You know what I'm saying? But as far as me being an EV driver, even here, I don't see a lot of EV stations. There's one at the park at Don Fox Park. But unless you have one built, because if you get the top of the line Tesla for free, they will build you a charging station at your house, you know, like by the garage or whatever. But if you get the lesser trims, then it's up to you to drive around and find one. Now, I used to clean buildings in was it Brentwood or Franklin? It was a Target in Brentwood. And in that Target parking lot, it was like 25 charging stations. And every night when I was cleaning those buildings, it was Teslas everywhere. I'm talking about 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody's sitting there charging so they can get ready for the next day. And I'm thinking, well, damn, if I got to come out and charge my car at 1, 2 in the morning, I don't think I want it. I'll just continue to pay gasoline, that scam, than the scam of an electric vehicle.
And then, Sky, if you think it is too, what you're saving in gas, you're paying extra in electricity. So what's the point?
Especially if they build the one by your house, you damn right your electricity.
Right, you brought that shit into your house? Your electric bill. Tell me you saving
that's
money.
Common sense. Oh, heck yeah. That is absolutely common sense. And again, if you get stuck in traffic somewhere and your thing about the go, man, come on now. Because see, back in the day, I could drive my car, run out of gas, call somebody, they'll come up. They still have them to this day, like gas trucks, and they'll pour the gas in there, and you go back your way. Do they have those for EVs? Do they have it where you can call people?
Well, the chargers need gas.
Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, but if they fully electric, if they fully electric, can you call somebody, right? To come with State Farm. I'm with State Farm, so I can call State Farm, say, hey, I'm out of gas. They'll send somebody out there, put gas in my car. I can go about my business. Can you call State Farm and say, hey, man, my electric vehicle done died. Can you send somebody out here to help me charge it? I don't know if they have those just yet. Like, there's a company called Yoshi. I don't know if y'all know this, right?
I've seen them.
You pay them a monthly fee, and every Monday you just tell them where your car is, keep the little hatch open, and they'll come and fill it up every week, so you will never have to go to the gas station. So I think a lot of people with EVs are just quote unquote lazy and don't want to go to the gas station once or twice a week. That's why they use Yoshi and all this stuff. But then the downside is you better not be caught somewhere in bad weather, right? Or caught in traffic, or you're in a part of a neighborhood and you go to start that car and you only got like, I don't know if the little light comes on like when you're low on gas, because I've never been in an EV. But whatever it is, you better get to a charger real quickly.
Right. You'll never see me in one of them. I'm sorry. Not especially at the prices. You ain't no. I'd rather have the gas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Because even if everybody changes to EVs, they're going to find a way to tax that too. You ain't getting out of it. So let's say everybody just left gasoline alone, and by 2027, we all in electric. They're going to charge you for that so they can fix these roads. Quote unquote, fix these roads. Because I always wonder what Nashville's money is going to, because, man, my God, if you get on Bradley Parkway heading towards Centennial Boulevard, I'm surprised you have an axle, a tire, a rotor, anything, because that pothole on Bradley Parkway heading towards Centennial, because it'll take you to a Charlotte Parkway. Man, it's Harlem shaking as you going up and down that damn thing. So what is your actual gasoline tax money going to?
So imagine, man, we got a Camaro sitting on 22s. Mm-hmm. Imagine hitting that with that. With the suspension, is the way it is. So imagine hitting that, man. It feel like, man, the car It feel like, man, your car gonna just bump off and fall into the damn Cumberland River.
Yeah.
I mean, Raleigh bad, 24 bad, 40 is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And so you're right.
Yeah.
I don't even understand, man. Like, you know, and every winter it get worse and worse. I'm ready to feel like we riding horses.
Oh yeah, yeah. And what about these guys? What's up, Jasmine? And what about these guys that on what they call the little skinny tires? You know, they have the 22s.
Oh yeah.
Tires. I've seen so many of them bend their rims from hitting those potholes.
Ours is like that.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, we are on the Camaro. It's them low, them thin, you know, the very thin. Yeah. Ain't the now I'm saying something that's really thin. It's not like that, but yeah, you hit it in one of that, man. It's a different feel. And don't hit it fast. I'm telling you better not hit it fast.
Yeah. So somebody needs to go down to T-Dot and ask them when they get their annual budget, what the shit are they doing? Are they out of workers? You know, like, cause it shows a lot of potholes in Tennessee that needs to be filled. Man, a lot of people gonna damage their cars as it gets worse and worse.
Man, we gonna move the cars to houses, man. Got this young lady, she a single mom. She purchased a home, now she paying mortgage, and she absolutely regrets it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this music, man, and we gonna hear her story. And then, man, kind of talk about it, like, you know, because a lot of what she said, I can understand, I can relate to. Hold on.
Yesterday was my 3-year anniversary of becoming a home borrower. I borrowed this house from the bank 3 years ago, and I hate it. And some people are asking me, why do you hate it? Because I can't afford it. I can't afford this house. When I borrowed the house, I could afford it. And the bank insured that. Since then, though, when I borrowed this house, my homeowner's insurance was $1,323 a year. Today, 3 years later, my homeowner's insurance is $2,654 a year. That is a little over $100 increase, which is added to my payment. Now, I know a lot of people will say crap like, oh, well, you know, if you buy a house, your mortgage will be cheaper than your rent. Sure, if I were to rent a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, my rent would be a lot more than my principal and interest on this house. However, I'm escrowed, so it doesn't fucking matter because I have to pay principal and interest, my property taxes, and my homeowner's insurance monthly. So I know some people will usually say like, oh, my mortgage increased by $200 this year. Yes, we're not actually referring to the mortgage, which is the principal and interest amount. We're referring to the overall payment that we have to submit to the bank every month. It's not actually the mortgage, we know that, but we're in escrow, we don't have a choice. So it's the mortgage payment that we're paying. When I signed up for this fucking house, I signed up to pay $1,800 a month. I'm close to the $2,200 now in 3 years. That's a lot of money. And it's only going to continue to increase. And that's kind of my issue with this right now, because I'm at a point where I'm like, this is actually no different than renting. The only difference is that I don't have a landlord that I can call when my fucking toilet overflows or, you know, when the basement floods or whatever the fuck happens. I don't have that option. Of course, and we all know that going into homeownership, like I had the savings for that. It was, you know, I was fully aware of that. But everything is increasing, and we all know that too. Like, everything, the cost of living is increasing, and I can't afford this house. I hate it. But I can't, it's like, I'm probably not going to go back to renting because I invested over $30,000 into living here. For upfront costs, not referring to how much I've paid in my mortgage and all that, but I'm a single mom. And regardless of me being a single mom, I make make a decent living. Like, there are people in joint households, two-parent households, who make less than me or make as much as me, So it's really not the single mom aspect that I'm referring to in terms of financially. It's more so, it's too much for me to do on top of being a mom and on top of working full-time. Like, we all know what comes with being a single parent. So for me, it's just like, it's too much. Life is life, though. Like, I don't know, I got sucked into the world of, oh my God, I want to get married, I want to buy a house, I want to do this. It's like, I let society tell me that's what I wanted, but when I got it, I don't want it. And I hate that for me, because it took me a little too long to realize what I actually wanted for my life and not what I thought I wanted for my life, because society makes it seem like we should want certain things. I don't like being a homeowner. I don't like it. And I don't care about, when you pay your house off for 30 years. I don't care about that. Because the end goal for me is just making sure I have some place to come home to, have a roof over my head. And like I said, this shit isn't mine. Whether I'm renting or borrowing or owning, it's not mine. It's not ours. Like, it can be taken away regardless.
Yep, you'll pay a property tax.
I'm depressed. I'm depressed. I'm just waiting to see what I think it's coming.
Well,
So most of the things that we talk about, let's talk about today. Let's not worry about that episode. Talked about the car payment guy, right? And then we talking about the girl who can't afford a mortgage. What do they both have in common? What did the girls have in common? Kids. It seems like every time a female talks about what she's going through, she's a single mom. How in the shit do we have so many single moms going through so much stuff? I was with her until she was like, well, I'm a single mom. Okay, well then hold on. Where's the daddy? Where's the child support? Where is any of this stuff? Did you buy the house before you became a single mom and he just said, I'm tired of being a parent and leave? Or did you buy the house when you knew you was a single mom? Did you not know that insurance and taxes go up? Your actual mortgage itself is a contract for 30 years, so that can't move. But taxes, insurance will go up depending on the property value, how many people move into the neighborhood. Because the more people move into the neighborhood, the more energy that city or county has to use. So taxes, electricity bill, all that is going to go up. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't understand when she got to that part. Well, I'm a single mom, and like, good Lord, girl, well, you didn't add in the fact being a single mom, depending on how old your child is, how much you spending on the child by yourself, and this is why you can't afford the house.
Well, I want to go from this aspect. I think we have to get more into high thinking. I think we need to get into high thinking. I think inflation is going to flatten a lot of people, and it's not going to get better. No. You know what I'm saying? I think, it's going to be 4 more years, most likely, of Joe Biden, and this stuff ain't going to get better, right?
You think so? I think Trump's going to win it.
Oh no, they're going to cheat, and they're going to rig it. They already did, so long as they got the machines, and long as they got mail-in ballots, they can dictate the way that they have it, right?
Right.
But Faith, here's why I say it will. Here's why I say it is. Kids make you poor. When you have kids, it don't put you in a better financial state. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? And I tell young people this, man, I don't care if you're married or if you're single. When you have kids, it's going to cost you money. It's less money you're going to have.
That's right.
The problem is that when she bought the home, she didn't foresee inflation, which a lot of us did. How many of us thought that we were going to be paying double or triple the amount, not only for groceries or gas, but just in interest? How many of us foresaw that, 4 years ago, we was paying about 3-4% interest. Now it's at 7%. Who foresaw that? And that's the problem with a lot, especially in our community. We don't foresee, we just look at the now. We don't look 5-10 years from now. You see what I'm saying? And we don't prepare for 5-10 years from now. And something else we don't have is we don't work together as families. We can't wait to leave the house to go rent. We can't wait to go and be independent. You know what I'm saying? But most animals don't survive in the wild by themselves. We're the only animals that think we can. Think about all the animals. All the animals work together to survive. We're the only one that don't.
Right.
Think about that. We're the only one that don't, even with our kids. When our kids come of age, yes, there's nothing wrong with you going to college and getting a college degree. But when you get out, why not come home and get in a career, save your money, you know what I'm saying? Pay your, that American dream been dead long ago. That American dream been done before we were born. It didn't exist when we came along. It was just, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. By the time we came along, most of our parents, man, was starting to need 2 incomes. It wasn't where you didn't have these big factories, man, where you could, the man could go and he could work and the women could stay at home. It was going up way back then. So we get caught up in this all-American dream, and some people come and live that American dream. They just go about it different. Think about all the immigrants that come over here. Yeah, they get help, but they take advantage of the help that they get. A lot of them come here without clothes on their back, shoes on their feet. They probably only got one bag to their neck. A lot of them don't even have identification. Fast forward 5-10 years from the moment they get here, now all of a sudden they got cars. Yeah, 5 to 10 of them sharing one car. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? That's their car. 5 to 10 of them sharing a place to live. Yes, but that's their place. They break off, buy a place, break off, buy another place, and then before you know it, they own the whole street. We never go about that. We never do it that way. And we sit and we watch other, nationalities, man, the cultures do it, and we still won't do it. You'll see a single mom with 5 kids and won't sit down with her kids and say, hey, look, when y'all come of age and y'all start working, you know what I'm saying? How about we go have on, the bills, and we put together a savings account where we all put money in it to buy an apartment complex for us. We don't even think in high thinking like that. No. How many kids even get a job and help their parents to just say, hey, mama, financially, what can I do to help you? You know what I'm saying? For us to grow. Most of them can't wait, man. I just can't wait to get out the house so I can do adult stuff.
That's right. Now some do. Some kids do get out and help. Some kids do. They get out and help.
Yeah.
They'll pay bills. But the majority of them now, you're right. Once they get their first job, their first taste of freedom, hell, they be gone at 16 if they could.
Yeah.
And
I don't think she was blaming it on anybody. No, you're right, baby. She wasn't blaming it on anybody. Basically, what she was just saying is that she got regrets. That she thought that society put this, what maybe she thought was a plan or some things that she wanted for herself, and then once she got it, like the house, for example, she was like, it ain't what she cracked it up to be.
Right. Well, I was just saying the common denominators for a lot of this show, when we hear problems, the number one thing is they're single moms and single dads, and that's just the truth. Whether you like to hear it or not, that is a fact. And so at the end of the day, whether she was accounting for inflation or not, like Tamo said, children, and this is why we have this show, so we can speak freely. Children are liabilities. Until they turn 16 and work and bring money into the house, they are liabilities. So when inflation goes up on your house and your cars, inflation is going up on your kids too. And they really are. So at the end of the day, I'm with him. Families, especially in 2024, should stick together, even if it's 10 of y'all in a 3-bedroom apartment, to save money. And then when y'all save money, y'all buy another spot together. Y'all buy land together. Y'all do all this stuff together. And then hopefully one day it'll be more houses than people, and you can live comfortably and then pass something down to your children. But as Black folks, we don't even save. We have no savings account.
And you think about this, guy. Think about this, guy. You got people, like I know some siblings, right? That 2 siblings that struggle. And they won't even come together and say, how about we move in together? You know, we raise our kids together. You know what I'm saying? And then we go and invest into a duplex or a triplex where, you know, you live in one half, I live in the other half, and let the person that we rent to, let them pay this thing off. They don't even think on that. We ain't even talk about the women and the kids. Even the siblings won't do it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If some siblings are taught that way and they just stubborn and don't want to do it, like if you had 2 siblings that grew up with each other, let's say they probably stayed in the same room most of their life, then they probably tired of looking at each other, so they probably wouldn't do it no way. But a lot of blacks couldn't teach us that no way, because they didn't know. Their parents didn't know. Again, I tell you, when I was born, slavery was just 110 years ago. So that's not a lot of time. So nobody coming out of a slavery 110 is going to teach me about what you just said. So at the end of the day, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if you leave this house or sell it or foreclose it, what are you showing your child? You know, when times get rough, you have to show your children that, hey, I got to pull myself up by the bootstraps and get this done. I mean, outside of prostituting yourself, you know, whether it's pick up a second job, sell things online. If your child, she didn't say how old the child was, but if the child's of age and then you let the house go and you go back to live with your mama, which is the child's grandparents, what does that say? What is that going to say on the child when they get into this world and they get into a hard situation?
And you know, and here's the crazy part, right? This is what bothers me. It's that, like, if you live, even a single mother, the issue is they can overcome that. It is possible to overcome it. It is hard to overcome. I don't care if you were a single dad or mom, but it's hard to overcome. But how about y'all all putting life insurance on each other? How about that? You know, man, there's stuff like that. It's little stuff that bother. You know, we can spend money on dumb stuff. Christmas come around, we got to do stuff to validate that we're a good parent to other people that don't really give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But why not? You know, man, when the kids do get it, you know, when my oldest first got her job, one of the first things we made her do is get life insurance, and don't put it on us. Put it on, if something happened to you, put it on your sister. When the other one got a job, you get life insurance, put it on your sister. Then when you get married, then you could go ahead and put it on your spouse and make sure y'all kids is covered. You know, stuff like that. You know, teaching them basic stuff. Like, if you stay home, save your money. Yeah. Don't blow your money on some shit that you're not gonna remember a year from now. It's okay to want to go ahead and spoil yourself a little bit, because you want to see the fruit of your labor.
Right.
But why don't you have a checking in the savings account or IRA or a CD? Why ain't you investing that money? Why aren't you getting with your siblings, and why don't y'all put your money together and go buy some land?
Who's teaching them? The parents ain't. The mom working 2 jobs, the daddy working 2 jobs.
And that's where the single parent thing comes in, and that's why it's frowned upon. Because
and then
the
teachers
parent is working and they
are falling off like flies. You know that, right, Damo? You know the past 4 or 5 years, 44,000 teachers have resigned because of these badass kids. So if they're not learning it at home, they're not learning it at school. Where are they learning what you just said?
That's where, you know, man, it's just sad, man. I think that's where
it is. It's sad. And that's because no one is teaching them.
Right.
No one is teaching financial stability.
Like Tasha, you know, I'm quite sure you're a good mom. So if you got to go ahead and work, and you got to be the one that be the provider all on your own, right? If you got to be the one that's all on your own providing, then that takes away from a lot of time where you're able to nurture and to teach. This is where, you know, this is where I'm really harder on dudes. Y'all think I'm harder on females. I'm harder on dudes. I'm much harder on dudes. I don't really have no empathy for dudes. Because, man, I don't think it's cool that just because you laying down with a female to freely ejaculate inside them. Like, man, come on, brother. Put on a condom. Why are you know, like, you poor, she broke. Why would you want to do that and bring a kid in the world? Because she can't have a kid without you giving her, you know, man, your ejaculation. So why would you lay down? You broke, she broke. Neither one of y'all can afford a Mike Knights. Y'all can't afford to put, man, the bicycle on layaway. You gonna lay down in this and bust all up in this? So I'm really harder on dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, you know what, Tasha, and that's the thing. We learn when it's way too late. But our jobs is, you know, I know people say I'm harsh, but I think harsh get the message across. With my kids, I was the same way. I'm just as harsh. You know what I'm saying? Before they was able to understand, I was like, why would you go ahead and lay down with a dude and you broke? You too poor to be fucking. Excuse my language, but man, you shouldn't be screwing unless you at a certain financial level. Yes, man, people say, well, that's not logical. Yeah, it is. It's a choice. You too broke to be fucking. You know what I'm saying? You ain't paying you ain't got nothing of ownership of nothing of value. Why are you screwing? So, man, I think, you know, man, the older generation, us, the way I speak, I think it should be spoken to with younger people. Because being soft with them and trying to be politically correct, it don't get the job done. It just don't.
Not in the real world. No.
Not in the real world. That's why Kevin Samuels was as successful as he was. Because if he would have been like that dude, what's the dude? She ended up cheating on his wife, and then sat her up there in front of everybody with a bonnet on her head and had her looking. I felt bad for her. But you know, man, that dude, man, talking against dude, he wasn't being honest. You know what I'm saying? I tell females in a minute, man, we just want to smash. You know what I'm saying? That's first and foremost, we want to smash. And the easier, and we know that we can say things and we can use words and not invest in y'all to do so. We know we can manipulate y'all based on y'all emotions, but I'm honest and I tell females that. You know what I'm saying? And always say this. Man, you know what a person says and what a person do is totally different. So if I tell you I love you and I want to take care of you and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want you to have my kids, that's one thing. But if I say, you know what? I know that if I marry you, I can lose everything if it don't work out. But I marry you anyway, that speaks a lot. Think about the volume that speaks. See, I don't have to say all that bull crap to you because my actions spoke for itself.
That's absolutely correct. I tell folks all the time, I'm a terrible boyfriend. I'm so selfish. It's ridiculous. But also at the end of the day, you got these girls that are sleeping or laying with these guys that won't do nothing for them. And I'll be like, do you have low self-esteem? Do you not love yourself? So if it's easy to find girls who will just put it out there like that, then this is why the guys are coming and ejaculating and leaving. It's rude. Because they can't ejaculate and leave if there's no product out there to ejaculate and leave in.
And Sky, you can attest to this, right? Man, females make it seem like dudes are complicated, men are complicated. We're not complicated.
Yeah.
Them red flags is already there. It's just that what happens, I think, a lot of times is females get the deep, and then y'all be messed up for years. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all get a 7, 8, 9 inch. You know what I'm saying? And tear y'all up in the bedroom. And then mentally, man, y'all just screwed up. Y'all just screwed up. And I think y'all put more, like females talk about, well, he got to be this height. Well, what about his wife? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't that be more important than his weight and height? Not saying his weight shouldn't play no role, because yeah, you want a healthy husband, but what do his height got to do with anything? If that dude is 4'2", but all your bills paid, y'all house got 4 or 5 cars that y'all own. Y'all going on vacation every year. What effing difference do his height make? For him to protect you against what? Get some damn German Shepherds. Get some damn Rottweilers then.
You know,
How about get the dude that protect you financially? They raise your kids. Pick them up. Food. You know, when you lose your mind and you know, man, you tired and you know, you just like, I'm tired of these kids. And then, you know, I just want to drink and go in this room and shut myself up and listen to some jazz and sip some wine just for an hour. Get a man to just say, you know what, baby, you know, man, I know you're having a rough day. I appreciate you doing this and this. I'll take on the kids. I'll go take them out, man. You enjoy the house. How about finding a man like that? Yeah, he 4'1". But guess what, man? He giving you a break. How about, I like to, man, when we do open up this phone line, I want females to call in. And I want y'all to tell me some legitimate reasons of why y'all chose the dude that y'all chose. I'm talking about some good reasons. I ain't talking about no childhood, high school stuff. Don't tell me it's based on no love. Because to me, that's the dumbest reason to get married to somebody. Oh, because I was just in love or have a kid with them. You know what I'm saying? Because how many things that you loved when you was 10 years old that you can't stand right now?
That's absolutely
love change all the time. There's things that you love one minute, you won't love the next. So if you basing it on that, then of course, man, it ain't gonna work out. It's inevitable not to work out. How about legacy? How about, you know what? I know when I'm 60, man, my hips and my knees and my back may not work, and I may need some help getting up the steps. I may need somebody to help me, you know, my memory gone. I need somebody to help me memorize how much of these medications I need to take. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, but a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of the girls that I know, they don't like to be alone. They can't be lonely. And again, that vagina boy, it's something terrible. Once it gets to talking, it's on and popping. I thought heroin was a powerful drug. No, sex is the most powerful drug in the world, because I've seen people sleep in cars, Damo. Sleep in cars together. I've seen them sleep in cars together with their child in the back, sleeping in the back seat. I'm like, it can't be that much love or sex unless she got a vagina like Wonder Woman in the world for me to live like that. I don't get it. I don't get on both ends. I don't get it. I think the man goes crazy too. Like, it is such a crazy thing. Nobody is looking at it from a long-term standpoint. Slaves did. Slave masters did.
You know, that's the crazy part.
The slave master would take the best black man, what they call a mandingo, send him up the street to mate with the best black woman, and this is how they created the physical people out there picking the cotton or whatever. And then that slave owner would send his best mandingo down to me, to my best female black woman, and have them mate, and I would keep that offspring, he would keep that offspring, and that's how they kept their legacy going. We don't think like that no more. I know that's a sad example, but
well, it's why. No, it's why. And ladies, man, I need y'all to, you know, we got kids, so we need to teach them this, right? This is why. If you think about it, Byron Daniels, He's a representative in New York. He started a firestorm because he said this, but he was absolutely right. And when he said this, during Jim Crow, during the civil rights movement, during slavery, during the Ku Klux Klan, the rise of the Klan, our families were way more intact. We had two-parent homes at a 70 to 80% rate. During them times, during our most worst moments. And then it feels like, I ain't gonna say it feels like, because this is actually what happened. The more freedom we got, the more our homes became divided. Now, people always saying, we know this and we talk about this all the time. Well, why? How did that come to be? This is why we need to, if we failed and we made the mistakes and we didn't do it right, well, we need to have a conversation with our kids. We need to go ahead and talk to them about government assistance. It's the worst thing to happen to us. It is. Government assistance doesn't allow us to be accountable. What do I mean by that? Well, ladies, if y'all had kids in the 20s and 30s, there was no housing around. There was no food stamp programs around. You had to put it on your own. That's why you didn't see women having kids out of wedlock back then, because they knew, and it was clear cut, that if I lay down with this dude I'm not married to, and it don't work out, I'm shit out of luck. Look at James Brown, man, how his mama did him. You know what I'm saying? There was no, government assistance when his mom was around, so she left him chasing men. She couldn't take care of him. Fast forward, man, the government now, they have taken the place of men. And that's why there's this gender war going on. Because it's really not women. It is, but it's not. The is part is them taking on the programs. And we get it. Y'all take on these programs because y'all legitimately need the help. Right? The man moves on. You need the help. But then you have men like, what we're talking about is, why even let it get to that moment? And that's the message that we need to be telling our kids. Why even let it get to that when we're having kids? You can go ahead and have a relationship. You can do all of that. But wear protection. You know you're not married to this person. Birth control. Protection. They got so much on the shelf right now, there's no excuse. So I don't care what you feel about a person, under no excuse should you be laying down with them having kids. And you know they ain't married to you. And you ain't got to have kids right away. Like, why do we think just because you got kids, that's the sign that you got to get and have kids right away? People know each other. Be with each other a couple of years and plan for it.
Right. Hey, you right, Lady T. Once they get to 10 years old, they're stuck in their ways. Actually, once your child gets to 9th grade, when they turn 14, it's a done deal. It's really a done deal.
You got to have some conversations before then.
Right. But before then, go ahead, Damo.
No, think about this, guy. When we talk about sex, you got to talk about sex when a kid is 4 years old. Because, man, we got to talk to them about stranger danger, molestation. So you already got to have them conversations beforehand. That's the problem. And this is, if we can't have more influence over our kids than society, then we don't need to have kids. Nothing on TV, none of my kids' friends, nothing. Because you know what I used to tell my kids? Who feeding you? Who putting clothes on your back? They not. Why do you care about what they think? I'm the one. Okay, because if they got more influence than me, then go live with them. You can go live with them then. I don't have to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm responsible, but I'll sign away your rights. If it's not going to be if I don't have the power of influence over you, I got your best interest at heart. What I used to tell my daughter, when you meet a man, why wouldn't you introduce her to me? Because, man, I'm not looking at you in a sexual manner. So I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So when she need a dude, he got to go through me. Why can't we get back to that?
You was
We make
absolutely
excuses,
correct.
man, and not accountable, man. And it burns me up because, man, we suffer the most.
We do. And a lot of it is self-inflicted.
It's self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted.
And we all human. We make mistakes. That's nothing
Yeah.
wrong. But we shouldn't make mistakes that we seen before. Like when I was a teen, I seen dudes that had kids with girlfriends and what they were going through. That was the lesson. Why do the lesson gotta be? Why do it have to take me going through it for me to learn a lesson?
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothers me. Why do you have to go through it to learn?
Right.
And we see our parents struggling as single parents. We
That's
gonna turn
right.
around and become a single parent too?
That's
We
right.
seen the hurt and they're going through.
That is absolutely correct. And so even out of all the stuff we just said, if we just put that to the side and get back to the narrative of just owning a home, in my opinion, it's still better to own the home because you're getting equity out of it. You know, eventually, somewhere down the line, you can pull that money back out of the house. I don't know if she knew that or not. I don't know if she knew what a HELOC was, a line of credit is. Get another lien against that. She could use her land, quote unquote, and property to get herself out of whatever debt she's in. When you're renting, you're literally giving the landlord, you're paying for the landlord to go on vacation with his wife and kids. That's just my opinion. But you got to have somewhere to live unless you're going to live in a tent, right? So you just pick which way you want to do. When I first started, I rented because I didn't know.
Right.
So I'm going to rent. I'm going to make my mistakes. So when I bought my home, I know. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not against renting or against home ownership. I'm just against, first of all, like you said, when you're at home, start saving. You 16 years old and you got your first job, help your parents, start saving. Go to college if you want to. So by the time you turn 24, you have a savings, you have some type of income coming in, and pretty much now with most mortgages or rent starting out at $2,000, you're going to have to live with somebody. You're going to have to. Pretty much.
Plus, let me tell y'all this. I want y'all to tell y'all, because a lot of y'all kids are close in age, right? So why don't y'all teach them while they're young and show them if they put their money together and they go buy, they can live on their own. Like, we don't think like this. You can go and buy an apartment. You can go and get something dilapidated, work on it. You live one place, they live another place, and rent out the other places, and then let them people pay off your property. Let somebody else pay it off.
Yep. And I just learned this myself not too long ago. I just learned this maybe 5-6 years ago. Like when I first got here, I didn't know that option. All I knew was go get a mortgage, go get a home, you know, and that was it. I knew nothing about what you just said until way after. So that's why my next home, the next house, I know how to go get it now because I didn't then. And then that's another thing we got to talk about on here. Even if everything you saying is true and you are in a 2-parent home and you teaching your kids, they still got to want it. Yeah. That was the difference with me. My mom and daddy didn't teach me a lot of this stuff, but I still wanted it. To this day, I still want it. So you can teach your kids whatever you want to, but if they lifestyle, if they want to just be rappers and drug dealers and pimps, ain't nothing you gonna do about it. That's just in them.
Hey,
so they have to get them off their butt and go get it.
And you know what? I went through this in school. I don't know if y'all had this project, but when I was in school, it was actually a health teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 6th grade. And I was like, this is something that stuck with me. She had us go out and get a career, right? So we had to make up a career, see how much it paid and whatnot. All right? Something realistic. Like, it could be a job. I ain't going to say a career per se. I'm going to say a job. What she made us do is go home. We had to get a copy of an electric bill, water bill, and then, ask our parents, interview them, ask how much they paying groceries, rent, how much was rent. We had to go look for apartments. And then we had to take the job and break down financially how much we paid per month. The majority of us was in the negative. And that scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. When my kids came along, you know what I asked them? You know the question I ask them all the time.
What's that?
If something happened to me and your mom, how are you going to make it?
Good question.
And that's the question y'all should ask your kids. If something happened to us, how are you going to survive? And they work, right? And that is the question you need to ask your kids. See, we coddle. You know what I'm saying? So we need to sit down and, as families and, like I said, have meetings. Work like a hawk. You make this much, I make this much, they make this much. This is how much the overall costs. How can we go ahead and make our money work for us? Because I'm going to tell y'all, inflation, it's going to force it. People just, man, they making excuses now. It ain't going, y'all think this stuff going to get cheaper? Nope. What indication is there to let y'all know that things going to improve financially?
There is none, because people don't do stats, right? So in America, every year, average, there are 4.9 million babies born every year. I know it's been a dip because a lot of people are not having kids because they're poor, but prior to that, 4.9 million babies born every year in America. So every 10 years, that's 50 million people. Every 10 years, it's not going down.
And not only that, but think about how many people they've let in these immigrants.
And
so,
that too. So the dollar is gonna get less and lesser because you're stretching it out, and you'll have more and more people needing land, water, utilities, tile.
Look at Nashville.
What do you think it's gonna do with the baby formula and the baby clothes and the baby toys? That's gonna shoot up too. Have you noticed no matter what recession we in, Pampers and Huggies, they have never had a sale. They have never went out of business. They stocks have never went down because people are going to continue to have kids. And as long as you go, why would I? If I'm Huggies, I'm going to go from $20 to $25, then $25 to $30, then $50. It's going to cost you $100 with 10 pair of diapers in 10 years because you got to have it. Whether you take care of your kids or DCS going to pay it. Somebody's going to pay to put a diaper and a pamper on that child's butt.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my next adventure. I was going to, and that's honestly, start a Shopify store and start selling baby products. Seriously. I'm in the process of doing that because I even have stocks and stuff in those companies because I know people are not frequent having kids, and the people that are sneaking over here legally or illegally, what are they bringing? Children.
Yep. And they taking the resources. Y'all look at Chicago. I'm telling y'all, pay attention to politics. In Chicago, they are, and it is a war going on right now where they're taking the resources that they never gave native Chicagoans and they're giving it to immigrants. So they're making it harder and harder. And I always say, I know we've been stuck on this topic for at least 35, 40 minutes, but power is in numbers. So teach your kids, get married first. Save. Get married first. Do not have kids under any circumstances unless you're married. If you ain't married, just don't have kids. Adopt them. Don't have it. You don't have to.
What are you going to do with those kids, Damo? There's 300,000 kids in the system waiting for a home.
Right. Adopt one of them. But financially, you know what I'm saying? If you broke, your life ain't going to get better when you have a kid. And it just never made sense to have a kid with somebody that only got a verbal contract. Like, where do we do verbal contracts? And when has a verbal contract ever worked?
Yeah, we're not mobsters in the 1930s where we just shake hands, right?
Yeah, when has a verbal contract ever worked in anybody's favor?
Right.
When somebody told you, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Yep. A marriage is a business contract. That's what it is.
It sure is.
So, I know we've been stuck on this for a while, right? I want to get to this next one because this dude, we was just talking about this. Like, men, some of y'all get in trouble too, man. Some of y'all get in trouble too. And so this cat, man, he had this conversation. I was like, this is interesting. At what point does a man lose his interest in a woman? Like, what can she say? What could come out of her mouth? Men, that we just lose interest right away. So without further ado, let me go ahead, cut this music. Because I got mine, man. And this, nah, ladies, we not bagging on y'all. There's a lot of good women on here, I'm quite sure. So this is not, but I want y'all to hear things from a man's perspective. I think that's important.
So this was a conversation that was on my personal Facebook page, borrowed it from another gentleman. And after a few days of listening to the different comments, I did post what my first three statements were in the post. And ladies, if you take this personally, then it is you trying to force someone to adhere to your beliefs and not to what a man is telling you. Now, I'm going to say that these are just my own personal ones. They do not encompass the thought process of every man, but yet there are many men who feel the same way because of the comments that were in the post of mine, as well as the post of the other gentleman who posted this as well. So the first one that I'm going to discuss here, and that is the fact that the minute a woman tells me that her money is her money, we're done. Completely done. There has only been one time in my life that I engaged in a relationship with a woman that said her money is her money and my money is my money. And as you know, most relationships end over sex, politics, or money. And knowing this, after many years, I had never in any relationship stayed with anyone that did not understand that our money is our money and that it all comes together. And I have a plan to which I utilize. That plan in the simplest format goes as such. Regardless of who makes the most amount of money, all the money comes in, and each one of us is given a personal expense account of equal amount. So if it's $100, if it's $1,000, it does not matter. You have a personal account to do whatever you like. Then the remaining of the money, 70% goes to our household bills and needs. To include in these household bills and needs is all your skincare, hair care, beauty care, as well as any type of therapy, spa therapy, whatever is desired, are put into that budget to include the mortgage, food, clothing, all those sorts of things. These are our necessities in order for us to live the lifestyle that we desire to live. Then 10% goes into savings, 10% goes on into play money, which play money is the money that we go out on dates with and have fun with, whether it's just me and that person or me and that person and children. And then 10% goes into investments. And that investment is designed for things that is going to bring us a return on our investment, short-term and long-term. For the one that balked at that I went ahead and engaged in a relationship with, money turned out to be an issue. Initially, she made more money than I did, but then as I started making more money than her, she wanted to flip the script, and now it was I'm supposed to pay all the bills, and she would get to go and do with her money whatever she chooses to do. We were not a team, so therefore, that doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. The other comment that I made is that if anything comes before me, to include the children, we will not work. Now, many women balked at this one because they were saying that, well, my children come first because when he leaves, my children will still be there. You have already set up the ideas in your mind that the relationship is not going to last, and therefore, since you've already set that up in your mind, you will subconsciously or consciously do things that will end the relationship. I've been a part of that as well, where the kids and the church and the house and everything else came before me. So here I am, taking care of all the household needs financially, making sure everything is protected. And then I'm coming after everything else. Here's the thing. When you desire to be with someone, you are saying that you want to be with that person for the rest of your life. Your kids will grow up, leave you, and then go and have their own lives. Your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, everybody will go and have their own lives. Your job will continue without you. Your family, you left your parents. They are living their own lives without you. Your spouse is the only person who is saying, I want to be with you for the rest of your life. Therefore, two people, when they come together, they should be in the mindset of I'm going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that this person is happy, make sure that this person has whatever they need. Now, you may come together and decide that we're going to sacrifice this vacation or sacrifice this purchase or sacrifice this time for the development of the children and for the betterment of the children. But at no point in time do those kids come first. I'm too tired to have sex with you. I'm too tired to go out on a date with you. I'm too tired to do. I'm too tired to do. If a man or a woman is saying that, then they are not putting you first. They are not putting the relationship first. And therefore, they're not putting what is supposed to be permanent first. Therefore, you cannot be with that person. Now, the other thing that I said, that if a person says to me, and we are done, my interest starts to wane immediately, is if a person says divorce is never on the table. Now, understand, not that I'm looking to divorce anyone. I would not be looking for the divorce. But it has been my experience of my own life, as well as watching the lives of other people, that when they make that statement, it is a statement of being lazy. It does reverberate back to my last statements, my last comments. When you say that divorce is not on the table, you then are allowing yourself to let yourself go. You're then allowing yourself to let the dating go. You're then allowing yourself to let the sex go. You're then allowing yourself to allow anything else to come into the relationship, because now you're saying whatever I do, whatever he does, there should be no impact of divorce. It doesn't work that way. Whatever you did to get me, whatever I did to get you, I need to do and you need to do twice as much to keep me, for me to keep you. If you are not focused on continuing to keep the relationship vibrant, then why would I be with you? And if in your mind you're always thinking divorce is not an option, divorce is not an option, divorce can never be on the table, then you will begin to become lazy. You will then begin to think that I don't have to keep surprising him or her. I don't have to keep loving him or her in the same way that I got him or her. I can now be lazy, and they're an afterthought. Their happiness, I'll catch up to it later. When I get to a certain state, I'll do those things to make them happy. That brings about laziness, because you're no longer focused on the relationship. And as I said before, the job will go on without you. Your family members will leave you. This is the only person who has promised you is trying to stay with you for the rest of your life. And by having that mindset of divorce is never on the table, you become lazy, and then you won't strive to do the things that can to make that person happy. And then as the relationship evolves, you won't be focused on making sure that you evolve with the relationship, so that the relationship can maintain itself. You allow the distractions of life to separate you from this relationship. And then at some point, although you both may have said divorce is never on the table, all of a sudden it's on the table. Now, there were many other things that other people said that were dealing with money, that was dealing with children, that was dealing with how many children the person already has.
All right, so let's address what he said. Some of them things I agree with. The last one I didn't. I can't wait to get into that.
Nash.
You know what, Nash? Let me address this part, because I actually put a post up. I don't know if you caught it, Sky. It started a shitstorm when I put it up. But I wholeheartedly believe in this. When he was talking about divorce not being on the table, I'm a believer in this. I believe that if you believe in divorce, in any circumstances, you have no business getting married, because it's inevitable that you're going to end up divorced. It's inevitable. Why do I say that? Because people change. See, people, when they get married, you know what I'm saying? Like, the car you buy today is not going to be that same car 10 years from now. Right?
Nope.
The house you buy and then you invest in today is not going to be the same house that you bought 30 years from now. Right?
Nope.
So things change. So I
Things
believe,
always change.
you know, man, if you don't understand that, you know, we are all flawed. We all change, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when people don't really listen to them wedding vows when they hear them.
Right.
For better, for worse, in sickness and health, for richer
Correct.
or poor, to
Correct.
death do you part. He talked a lot about happiness. Happiness is not a component of why you get married. You can be happy in a relationship. So if happiness is important to you, why not just stay in a relationship? That way, if y'all ever become unhappy, y'all can both go your own ways and not have to do the paperwork.
Right.
Makes sense?
Makes plenty of sense.
Because in the business, you know, if you got to contract the business and you're not happy and y'all making a lot of money and it's successful, y'all gonna go ahead and break up the business?
Depending on who the person is. I've seen some do it and some just stay because of the money. I've been told that before. Divorce is not an option. But you know what I came back with it with? A prenup. So if divorce is not an option,
Then
then
a
my
prenup.
prenup
I
is an
agree.
option. You see what I'm saying? I agree with some of the stuff he's saying, and then it just depends on the person, right? So you
Right.
got to go back to the beginning when you're dating. If I'm sitting across the table from you and I'm telling you I suck as a boyfriend, I'm selfish, parts of me will change because I love you, but parts of me just ain't gonna change because you're gonna bury me as is, right?
Right.
And you still decide to be with me and still decide to marry me, that's sort of on you. So if we get divorced or we don't, you know upfront what you getting into. I've said up front prenups, I've said up front who I am. I said up front who I like to do. I said up front there's still parts of my life I will never tell nobody. I just want it to be me. There's still parts of my day I just like to be to myself. Like nobody knows where I am. I'm just off the grid because I like to be to myself and have my thoughts with God. I've said everything up front. So whether divorce is an option or not, over 10 years, you can't come back to me and say, well, you didn't change. You still the same. I thought you would do. No, I told you up front before you said I do and these vows what you was getting into. So if my life goes against your divorce, if my prenup goes against what you think, and especially if my life goes against the vows that you're about to say, then yeah, we don't need to get married. You're absolutely correct.
And here's something that he missed out on. He didn't address this, so I'm going to address it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys believe that habits are formed over time? Here's what I mean by this, right? If you are a guy and you want a fit wife, now you know your wife right now, you probably got her in her prime, right? So you know if you were a fit woman or not. If you were a woman, man, that's built like, you know, a stallion, as the saying we used to say, big booty, nice hips and waist, you know, her prime body. Right. But she eat Doritos, man, you know what I'm saying? She's not really active. She don't go to the gym. What makes you think, and it's the same women, the other way around. You were the guy, he with abs, he active now, but he smoked, you know, Black and Miles, and he drink heavy. You know, what makes you think that when his metabolism or her metabolism slow down, that they're going to get any better? Right. Of course they're going to get worse. You know what I'm saying? When their metabolism slow down and they don't have good habits, of course they're going to go from 165 to 380. Right. What made you think that anything was going to be any different? If they didn't pick up, if you was dating them, and you noticed that when you went, you brought them their plate, ladies, and they didn't get up to take their plate in the kitchen, or they didn't get up to go and say, hey, I washed this dish. What made you think that they was going to turn into that man once you married? Those are habits that you need to look for in dating. The problem is that, man, y'all be dating too fast. Y'all be fucking way faster than y'all get to know somebody. Get to know them, get to know their habits. Because habits just don't sneak up on you if they lying about small shit when you dating. What make you think they're going to lie and it's not going to get bigger when you get married to them?
Absolutely. So two things I want to say. One, when you say, okay, if you're fit and healthy and over the years it goes down, most people, will be like, okay, that's just life. But what happens if you unhealthy and you out of shape and you want to move forward in the relationship, but your spouse don't want to move forward with you? That's more of a turn off than if she's fit at 25 and 50 she goes down. Okay, that's life. But if she's out of shape at 25 and by the time she turns 50 she looks like Jay Cargill, and I decided I didn't want to be a part of that, I expect her to walk away because she's growing and I'm not. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then on top of the men lying, if they lie about small stuff, they lie about big stuff. That's why when you date a guy, before you sleep with him, even before you marry him, go meet his mama, because she ain't afraid to lie about shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Go meet the family before you say I do, so that way you will find out who this guy really is, because they ain't got no reason to lie to you. They ain't sleeping with you. So, like you said, if you really want to get to know somebody, go meet the family, especially if they're the type of women I think they are. Go meet the mama and see what she said.
And plus, I always say this. I'm going to tell y'all this till I'm like blue in the face. If it's not about the kids, don't even do marriage. Just stay in a relationship. Matter of fact, don't even have kids. If y'all selfish and it's all about your needs, don't have kids. Just live your life by yourself. Adopt some kids. Adopt some animals. Quit bringing kids until y'all screwed upness. Everybody want kids. Why? Because if it's not about the kids, right? Then don't have them. You don't got to get married. Just because society, promotes marriage, it don't mean you got to get married. You can be in a relationship with a person for 30 years. And then if y'all know that y'all both some selfish Mickey Fickies, then y'all go on your own separate ways. Let the lease run out on the apartment. They go get their spot. You go get your spot. No harm, no foul.
We've been indoctrinated with it, man. The middle, and it's not a race thing; it's a class thing, right? So you go back to the beginning where they said, well, when the white people came to Africa, right? Blacks had the land, whites had the Bible. You turn around, the white people got the land, the black has the Bible, right? It's being shown to us through the Bible and everything else to keep us middle class, because this is what they put on TV all the time. She's the princess. She's in the tower. You put your hair down, Rapunzel. The knight comes and save you. You get married. Name one show that didn't show that the man and woman get together. You have kids. You have the white picket fence. You have the two dogs, and you get married. This is all you see on TV. But that's to keep you middle class, because they don't want you to know about stocks, bonds, businesses, politics, rules. All you need to know is get together. Oh, slavery, right? Get together, have more kids so they can work for us, and then your grandkids can work for us. Our kids go to school to learn how to be workers. Trump's kids and these rich people kids, they go to school to how to build businesses. This is how you keep slavery going. This is how you keep it going.
It
so
is.
In all these girls' minds, right? So all these girls' minds that we piss off, we're pissing them off because they grew up with, like you said, getting hundreds of dollars of presents a year for Christmas, and then the next year you got to throw all that stuff away because she wants something else. Then the next year is because she wants something else. She grew up on Disney, Nickelodeon, Mickey Mouse. All this stuff was being taught, and me too. This was taught to me too. This is how life was supposed to be. So to answer that question, this is why they're having kids and getting married early, because they've been teaching women you got to have babies before you're 25 or nobody going to be with you. If you ain't married by your 40, something's wrong with you. So this is why what you're saying to them is like, oh my God, he's bashing us.
Man, you know what's so crazy? We just hit 25 years of marriage last Monday, right?
Who said that?
But here's the crazy part. It wasn't until year 18, 19 that I figured out what the whole purpose of it is. And the purpose of it is legacy. You know what I'm saying? It's about us putting our resources together and then living out to the end of our lives. That's it. That's why rich people, they marry other rich people, right? Poor people, man, we get married and we always want to bring religion into it. Man, we hypocritical. Because all y'all want to talk about religion when it comes to marriage, but then it also say you ain't supposed to fornicate before marriage. Half of y'all, man, got double-digit bodies. So what are we doing here? If we're going to apply religion to marriage, then shouldn't we apply them same rules to dating and courting?
Thank you. Or what about all these girls that wear white at the wedding, knowing damn well they ain't need to be wearing no damn white, but
right.
they do. But they ain't supposed to.
We need to be consistent and understand what the whole purpose of marriage is.
Correct.
And people, it don't last because they don't get it. They don't get it. How did you? People ask me, well, how did you guys make it work in this? I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, you'll never get it because you are who you are. If you believe what you want to believe, it don't matter what I tell you. What I tell you is not going to actually land with you because you're going to believe what you believe. So absolutely, you're going to have what you're going to have, and I'm going to have what I'm going to have. It's just like when you're rich. You can't give every poor person the game because you could talk to them and give them the blueprint, and they still going to want to do it their way. So what's the point?
That's absolutely correct. I tell folks all the time, I'm not better than you because I got to die just like you. I just think differently. I see the world different than you do. And rich people hang with rich people. Poor people hang with poor people. But even if you go back in the days, I love history. You go back in the days with the kings and queens, right? Their daughters and their princes would marry other princesses and other princes to keep the family, the money, the land, and the nations together. You
know what's so funny? I'm so glad you said that, Sky, because especially in our community, we always talk about kings and queens, and we don't never, in the African sense, in the European sense, we don't never operate like kings and queens.
No.
Let's talk about it, right? Kings and queens didn't have multiple children like kings did, but queens didn't have multiple kids with multiple men. Queens are stuck with had one man, right? Something else they had people that served them. They owned land. They had serfs. You know what I'm saying? They people depended on them. They own land. We don't do anything as kings and queens. And it was. You know, man, when they got married, it was all about what? The legacy of both families. We don't talk about that.
The Prince of Wales marries the Duchess of England or whatever to bring those families together to be legacy. You wouldn't catch a princess of a wealthy kingdom marry some pauper. And this is not how it worked. No.
Even in Africa, you had to come bearing.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you had to come bearing gifts. Yeah,
come bearing nothing but D for y'all. That's all. Vitamin D. That's all they got y'all. Living home with mama, man, or staying with somebody, you know, man, ain't working on, build nothing, you know, don't have their own spot, and then talk about they want to marry. Why? You got to work on yourself, bro.
Right.
In Africa, man, you can't just come, you dealing with them, you can't just come empty-handed.
Right. And with poor people, and even in other countries, these parents that have so many kids that they're selling off their daughters at 16. For money to feed. I just saw that on the news the other day that this man she didn't leave at 16. The contract was when she turned 18, she's going to go with the guy. But he paid up front so he could feed the rest of the children. But you have 10 kids. So even in America, let's say somebody has 8 or 9 kids. You gonna marry my daughter? Sure, take her out of here. That's one less mouth I got to feed. You want to marry her at 16? Hell, I'll sign the papers. She's gone. That's one. Now I'm down to 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because that's just the mindset that y'all have, and I don't know why. You know what's funny,
stuff. Huh? You know what's even more troubling?
What's that?
When the fathers used to have to select the husbands for the daughters, the marriages actually lasted longer. When females start picking on their own, females, y'all terrible judges of character. You're absolutely horrible. Men are too. I'm not excusing men too. You know what I'm saying? But y'all are terrible. Y'all need to let other people pick, man, for y'all. Because when y'all pick on your own, man, y'all learn after the fact, after y'all, see a couple bad dudes. But when y'all young, y'all terrible judges of character. Y'all need to let y'all brothers or uncles or somebody that really care about y'all in a non-sexual way, y'all need to let them pick for y'all. But when y'all picking, man, shoot, you see what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get back to that.
These good girls like bad guys, That's why they never bring them home, right? Good girls liking bad guys. That's why they never bring them home.
I'm looking for this other story. I'm trying to find it. I put it on the page. But and this kind of going into the conversation we had. And I'm looking for it. I'm scrolling up, looking for this. But basically, in hindsight, this woman, man, she was married to this dude. And she told him up front that, you know, he is to be the provider and protector, that her money is her money, his money is our money. That's how she cataphrased it, right?
Right.
So this dude was making decent money. He lost his job. And then, you know, man, she left him. But not only did she leave this fella, she left him for his friend. She left him for his friend. And she was like, well, I told you, you know what I'm saying, that if, you know, if I have to go ahead and do anything, then guess what? I'm leaving. And she did. So, you know, I want to play this video, but I want to ask y'all what y'all thought about it. Y'all think she in the right for doing so? Or do y'all think she's in the wrong for doing so?
What did she do again?
She left her husband because he lost his job and he couldn't do what he promised that he said he was going to do prior to them getting married. So he said that he was going to be the provider, he was going to be the protector, he was going to do all of that. I think they removed this off my page. But yeah, he said he was going to do all of it. And when he lost his job and he couldn't, she left him.
And then again, it goes back. When you was dating, did you pick up those red flags? Because I always tell folks, if I promise you, it's gonna get done. If I don't think I can do it, I don't make promises I can't keep.
She told him.
You ask me something, or tell me something, I'm like, maybe, I don't know, I'll pray over it. What the old folks told me, I'll pray over it. But if I say I'm gonna do it, it gets done. Maybe not today, but it will get done, right? So a girl leaving me, if I lost my job, a girl leaving me at this age, I'm okay because I've saved. I have a cushion. I have what I need for humans to walk in and out of my life. So too many people put their faith in humans for me to walk in and out of my life. That's fine. But for him, goes back to the norm. Why are you not preparing for the worst? Pray for the best, right? So when people say divorce is not an option, pray for the best. But sometimes even the most Christian woman will change on you. And if the day you lost your job and she walked out, you should still be okay. I mean, you might be heartbroken a little bit, but I'm just saying you should still be okay. Stop relying 100% on humans. Humans will change on you in a minute. A dog will be a dog, a cat will be a cat, a bird will be a bird. But every day a human wakes up, they're a new person. That's why they say sleep is the cousin of death. Because when you went to sleep last night, that person you was last night is dead. This is a new you. What I said to you last night died with that person when they went to sleep. So be careful what I say to you today. And what I'm telling folks today is you have to do something to prepare yourself for the worst. People don't save money for when their car breaks down. They don't save money for when home things break down. They don't save money for the divorce. They don't save money when a girlfriend walks into their life. And so I damn sure know this man didn't have nothing to fall back on when he lost his job and the woman left. Because if he did, she probably would have stayed. You know what I'm saying? But when she found out he was, destitute, broke, she walked out.
I think that's the most obvious red flag you can get before you marry somebody. If somebody tell you, if a female was to tell me, what's mine is mine and what's yours is ours, that's what dude was talking about. Man, the first, man, you know, that ends everything. It's over. When you say that, that means that because I could get in a car wreck and be paralyzed.
That's right.
And then lose it all. So she told him. She told him. I mean, it wasn't like she didn't warn him. So if it's me, it's certain things like that I'm listening for. Where money is your obligation, I get it. I shouldn't hold that against you. But I'm not going to be with you. You should be with somebody else. If it's not about us, if the language is not us, ours, we, then what am I doing here with you?
Mm-hmm.
I can go get me, Becky 3000. What's Becky 3000? One of them, man, them little dials that feel real. Fold that heifer up, slide up under my bed, go about my business. I can go get her. What I need you here for? You an extra bill. I ain't got to feed her. I ain't got to, take her out on dates. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to nag me for nothing. I could just get that help. What I need you here for?
Right. Absolutely.
So,
and it all just goes back to conversation. Somebody told me conversation rules the nation, right? I would see some of the most dusty, dirtiest men get some of the prettiest women because of conversation. Like, dude, you ain't got a pot to piss in or want to throw it out of. How you get this dime piece? Conversation. So, then let's use that conversation for normal things, right? Get to know somebody first, man. I hate when folks be like, well, if they ain't married you within 3 years, they don't want you. Or if you gonna move in, you need to be married, or he ain't done this in 6 months. Hey, everybody's different, right? And a lot of those women and men that's moved that fast, it don't last because you didn't get to know the person at all.
You ain't gotta be faithful. Like I always say this: if you're not married, you single. I've come to this conclusion. If you ain't married, you single. Why are you making a verbal commitment to somebody that's just not making a paper commitment to you? Just because you with them 4 or 5 years, you can tell them, hey, I'm interested in you, but this is not going in the direction that I hope it went in. So I'm going to go see other people. I'm going to see if there's somebody else that's interested in me as far as marriage.
Right.
You can give a person an ultimatum. You don't have to just be with them. Just have a communication with them. This is why I'm in this for. This is why I'm dating. And if I'm going to be committed to you, then I want to be committed in the trajectory that it goes here.
Right.
And if it's not going there, then you go ahead and see other people. I'm gonna see other people.
Absolutely. And if you the type that want to be a pimp for the rest of your life, I ain't mad at you. As long as you honest with these girls, that's fine. There's always gonna be somebody that's gonna go. The majority might not go, but you'll find some that will go. You know what I'm saying?
Or a pimp back. I see. Yeah. We've seen them videos of them females in the poly marriages. Where it's her and like she got 3 husbands. I wouldn't do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't see it. You know what I mean? But hey, man, if you can pimp that, pimp on.
Hey, I used to know girls that had back in the day the old Nokia phones, and they had 5 different guys under 5 different categories of name. This one was good for the money. This one was good for the eating. This one was good for the sex. This one was good for picking me and my child back up. If that's the type of life you want to live, then just keep it 100. Just keep it 100.
Just don't cry to us when you 50, your leg falling off. You know what I'm saying? Or that lace front cockeyed to the side. Just don't Vivica foxes. That's all we saying. Don't Vivica foxes. Vivica now look like a banana that been sitting in a hot attic. Don't do that. Now she want a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's goods and bads with everything, pros and cons with everything. But for me, the foundation, common sense, is just conversation and honesty. If you don't want to be in a serious relationship and you want to have 2, 3, 4 men that you want to sleep with at a time, or whenever you get horny, you want to call somebody and say, hey, I'm coming through. Can I come over? Can I do this? That is okay. And even if certain people frown on it, there are certain people that won't.
Right.
It's just when you sitting here telling Damo, hey, I only want to be with you. I love you. I'm only having sex with you. And then he finds out that you got 3, 4 other men you having sex with. That's the problem I have. That's deception. That means I can't trust you at all. You can't be trusted. I'm not even mad at the physical fact of penetration. I'm mad because I thought I had your love and loyalty. Do you see what I'm saying? If you told me this up front and I still kicked it with you, go do you, girl. But if you lying to me, see, that means I can't trust you. What you say, Demo, if you lie about the small stuff, what's going to happen later? There you go.
Change.
Yeah, I tell folks.
A person's habits is their habits. That's when you get with them. That's the stuff you're looking for. What are their habits? Like men with tempers. You don't just all of a sudden have a temper. You need to date that man until you see how he handles when he's upset.
Right.
Right? Because he don't just all of a sudden just start knocking women up the head. You need to see how he react when he's upset. I'm talking about in a genuine sense.
Mm-hmm.
These are things you learn when you court. Some of y'all be blinded because, like I said, man, y'all overlook stuff because sex.
Yeah. I mean, if he's the type of person that gets mad and walk out the house and don't come back till the next day, he's probably screwing somebody else. But, you know, if he's the type that go in a room and sit and chill and y'all can talk it out, then that's probably what the type of person he does. Again, folks change, but we just talking about just in the general sense. So, but it's going to get to the point where just to exist, you might have to have a spouse. Society's at the point where you can't afford milk bites, you know. So you got to do that. You better vet like an application, like an apartment application. Find out who you are dealing with. Actually, just go into contract with somebody and say, hey, I make 50,000, you make 50,000. We can be together for at least 5 years, and after 5 years, if it don't work out, you go somewhere else, I go somewhere else. Just do it like that. Just do it like that. Just be honest. Like, the real reason I'm with you is because I'm broke. The sex might be good, but hell, I'm broke as hell. So in 5 years, I'm looking to make 100,000. So once I get there, me and you can go our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? You know, do it that way. You know.
Right.
But a lot of folks don't, man. So many people want to lie and be bigger than what they are. It's because they're watching this damn TV. All these damn rappers are going broke, going to jail, getting shot, getting killed. But this is what folks want to be. They want to be what they see on TV, you know.
We don't always have to do it just because society say that's what we should do.
Amen. We do not have to do it just because society say do it. You're absolutely correct.
Man, this show we had another banger, man. I want to thank Faith, Naj, Jasmine. I seen that was on here. Who else was on here, Sky?
Lady T and Miranda G.
Man, thank you guys, man, for joining us, man. Natasha also.
Yeah.
Natasha, thank you.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. When I say Lady T, I just know it's Lady T shit. Natasha, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, thank you guys.
Thank y'all for commenting, especially on the different platforms. Some of y'all on Facebook, some of y'all on YouTube. It helps the show because now they're picking up the algorithm that we're, you know, getting picked up on different platforms. I'll have maybe one person talk to us from Twitter because I'm live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I've had one person on here hit me up on Twitter, but I guess Twitter just, you know, whatever, X or whatever you want to call it, don't push us like the other ones do.
Yep, and you guys can definitely help us by sharing the live. Also, like Sky said, next week, I'm waiting on the core. We should have a call-in line where it's going to be a minute for you to be able to express how you feel, but you need to listen to the whole show because I'm not going to let you guys know a specific time that we're going to have calls, but it will be during the show. So if you would like to call in next week, have a minute to say, there will be no disrespect, man. And just keep it respectful. You know, no calling out the names or keep it up, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Innocent.
Yeah, keep it innocent. But on here, next week, we're going to have my Cash App and Sky's. And if y'all want to talk longer than a minute, we'll go a minute to maybe 5 minutes. We don't know. Me and Sky had that discussion during the week. But we'll have it where if y'all want to talk longer than a minute, you'll be able to Cash App him or myself. But I'm looking forward to that. Sky, man, as always, I look forward to Tuesday.
Me too.
Absolutely love Tuesday. God bless you. I know this weekend you got some stuff going on and tonight. So go ahead and plug us into that again.
Well, don't y'all forget tonight, the D-Bling Radio Show, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then it'll replay from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So tune in tonight, listen to your favorite local artists and up-and-coming artists. And then this Saturday, come watch me, Top Rope Wrestling. I'll be there. And then next week, I'll be in Swag. The week after, and then the week after that, I'll be in Nola the Pro. And then in July, I'll be in Paraguay, Arkansas. So, yeah, shout out to all those promotions and come see me do my thing. But tonight, listen to the D-Bling Radio Show and listen to Damo's music on there. And we're going to have a good time.
Most def. And soon, I am working, you know, I haven't got a chance to talk to him a lot this week, but me and Naj is going to have a show coming real soon. So I want to get more shows on, you know, on this platform. So we got the Nashville Cavemen podcast. Me and Naj, we got to get together to work on something also. Yes. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I want to do a sports show, man. Any of y'all out here, man, that are into sports, want to talk sports, because I am a big time sports fan. If you want to co-host the show with me on this platform to do that, the door is open, man. Inbox me. Or if you're in Sky's network, if you want to inbox Sky also, let me know.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that you're doing all this, man. You know, I'm here to support you any way I can.
Hey, same here, my man. I appreciate you, man. And you know, you guys make sure y'all tune in tonight. Great artists. And also Mike's show also. Mike does his show when? Saturday?
Yeah, on the weekends, and that's the Hard Hitter Radio show. Yeah.
The Hard Hitter Radio
show. In our pool, you can get played on both shows throughout the week. Yeah. So shout out to Mike Anderson and Hard Hitter Radio. Yeah.
Most definitely, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We look forward to talking with you guys next week. And stay tuned, man. We should have some really, really good topics next week. So, again, thank y'all. We out. Peace, love, and remember, the only thing guaranteed in life is death. So don't worry about the things you can't control. Right. Only control the things that you can. Be accountable for your life and look at yourself first before you expect anybody else to come through and help you.
That's right. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's about that time. You're rocking with your boy Damo Unleashed and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman Podcast. Stay tuned.
On the whip with the crystals on the side. Doors flip up, yeah, we call it suicide. Creeping like a spider every time that I ride. Yeah, I smile at my haters just to fuck what they find. All so dope, then the truth tell a lie. $1 million dreams make a broke nigga high. Dudes get mad when they really say hi. The pain so